So friends, as we await a verdict in the Proud Boys seditious conspiracy trial, let's talk about some of the arguments their defense attorneys made to the jury. Because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, I've been meaning to do this video for a while now, but there's been so much breaking news in recent days that this one kind of got away from me. A few days ago, I was in court. I attended some of the closing arguments in the Proud Boys seditious conspiracy case, and I want to share with you just some of the arguments made by the defense attorneys. You know, some of the closing arguments were painful, some were comical, some were offensive, and some were effective. Let's start with the recent reporting. This from NBC News. Headline, Proud Boys blame Trump as defendants prepare to find out their fate in sedition trial. And that article begins, attorneys for the Proud Boys placed blame for the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol on Donald Trump in closing arguments in their seditious conspiracy trial Tuesday. An attorney for Enrique Tarrio, the head of the Proud Boys, said federal prosecutors were trying to make him a scapegoat for Donald J. Trump and for those in power. A lawyer for Joe Biggs said the defendants came to Washington because their commander-in-chief told them it would be wild, referring to Trump's infamous tweet on December 19, 2020, that called on supporters to come to Washington on January 6th. Be there, it's going to be wild, the commander-in-chief said, and so they did. Norm Pattis, an attorney for Biggs, told jurors, adding that their commander-in-chief sold them a lie. Tarrio, Biggs, and fellow Proud Boys Ethan Nordine, Dominic Pizzola, and Zach Reel each face at least 9 counts, including seditious conspiracy, a rarely used Civil War-era law. The trial has been underway for more than 3 months, and jury selection began in December 2022. The government said in closing arguments Monday that the Proud Boys wanted to be Donald Trump's army and were thirsting for violence and organizing for action ahead of the January 6th attack. Now, friends, I don't want to bury the lead. Here is a statement that was made by the defense attorney representing Dominic Pizzola. You may not remember the name of that defendant, but you'll remember what he did. He violently took a police shield from a Capitol police officer and used it to smash through the windows of the Capitol so people could breach the Capitol. Here is what Dominic Pizzola's defense attorney argued to the jury. Frankly, I found it compelling. Indeed, I even found it prophetic. Now, these are from my notes that I took as I sat in that courtroom listening to these defense attorneys give their closing argument. It's not a transcript, but I think I captured pretty accurately, hopefully word for word, some of the arguments that were made by these defense attorneys. And here is what Pizzola's attorney argued to the jury. Donald Trump said, "I'm going to go to the Capitol. Go to the Capitol with me. Fight like hell or you won't have a country anymore." And I suspect, ladies and gentlemen, that will be government exhibit number 1 in the trial of United States versus Donald Trump. Well, you know what, friends? I couldn't agree more with Pizzola's defense attorney that will be government exhibit number 1 in the criminal trial of United States versus Donald Trump. Of course, unfortunately for Pizzola, it doesn't give him a defense to attacking the Capitol. Just because Donald Trump may have illegally commanded him to attack the Capitol and stop the steal, fight like hell or you won't have a country anymore, that does not give Pezzola or any other Proud Boy or insurrectionist a defense to the crimes that they committed at the Capitol on January 6th. So let's take on some of the other arguments we heard from the defense attorneys representing these defendants. A number of them said, the pictures of our clients that the prosecutors admitted into evidence, they mean nothing. They prove nothing. Really? This picture of the leader of the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio, with one of his top lieutenants, Joe Biggs, that doesn't really prove that these two men were associated? Or how about the photo of Dominic Pezzola with the stolen police shield he used to bust out the windows of the Capitol so people could breach the building? That doesn't prove anything. And then, friends, there was a photo moved into evidence of Tarrio and Pezzola together with the caption, "Lords of War." You know what Pezzola's attorney said about that photo? That picture means nothing. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? When my client was in high school, he had his picture taken with Muhammad Ali. Does that mean that he was in a conspiracy with Muhammad Ali? But you know what, friends? This one is probably the worst of them all. One of the defense attorneys actually argued the following. On January 6th, the police created chaos. The police amped it up. The police wanted it to happen. Blame the victims. 140 police officers were injured that day at the U.S. Capitol. They were assaulted, they were beaten bloody, some were beaten unconscious. But according to the Proud Boys, it was the fault of the police officers what happened that day at the Capitol. Friends, at one point during the closing arguments, one of the defense attorneys, when I think he knew he had made a particularly absurd point, actually stopped and he said to the jurors, "I see your eyes rolling up." I saw their eyes rolling up too. But now the jurors are back there in deliberations, seeking to do justice. And I believe they will. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe, please stay tuned, and I look forward to talking with you all again soon.